Hi, fancy meeting you here in this little old place. I'm Tish, and this is Echo Echo. Feeling a bit fragile today, so I got my little uh, dressing gown on. Got a little Frida. Hey, a little bit of a Frida hug. She hasn't been too naughty today. I'm gonna put her down now because she she can't fit on my lap. If she wasn't so long, she probably could fit on my lap. It was a bit hot. I had to do that. What a great start to the video. Mmm, juicy, nice, good yawn. Oof, damn, I'm tired. Feeling a bit sick. Earlier in the week, I foolishly joked about not getting the vid ever. And, that made me really happy because, all these, fitnessy people are like, it's okay. Only obese people are going to get COVID and die. Never got it. Boop. Not yet, anyway. Anyway, so I'm feeling rubbish. I was feeling rubbish yesterday. And yeah, had a very busy day. And I'm like, well, I'm already sick. I just put the old Veronica Bay video up, so I hope you enjoy that one. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on with this thing. And I'm like, well, I'm already sick. And I was inspired by Heather C. and her video about Rakan because I am working on a video about Game Changers, which is the team he sort of runs with Lily Zaremba, who sucks. And where's my brain gone? Where did you go, brain? Yeah, so I'm like, I saw Heather's video. I'm like, there could be little vignettes of Rakan here and there just saying the dumbest things. So I'm going to check it out. And I'm already sick. And we got Jessie Lee Ward here. Hashtag bossy. And Rakan together. I'm like, I'm already sick. Can't make me any more sick, right? Look, it is 55 minutes long. No, 59. So hopefully it's not too fast. So I have to do a whatchamacallit part 1 and part 2. We'll see how we go. All right. Now, just in case you're new to these particular characters, they are network marketers. Jessie Lee Ward calls herself the number one network marketer in the world. When she's not, she's like 600 and something. Rakan's higher up than she is. She works for Prove It, who sell ketones, which are an absolutely useless product because you can make your body go into ketosis without ketones. And I don't think that's how they work anyway. Question mark? Anyway, Rakan, he is in iGenius and he was in Kuvera Global. And I think he was in the one before that too. Wealth Generators, that's it. And that's a crypto education MLM. He's high up, so he does make a lot of money. Jessie Lee is also high up in her company, but she does make a lot of money from coaching, speaking. She has some legitimate businesses. Yeah, so those are the players at the moment. There was a little bit of rumor that they were getting down, Rakan and Jessie Lee. Hey, I've actually heard from more than one creator that Rakan just sleeps with all the girls. I don't know, like he went to, did he go to Mecca he went somewhere very spiritual the other day and posted it to his Instagram, of course. Because you got to do it for the gram. And he is Muslim, so I don't think they are really okay with sex before marriage, but maybe it's okay for the guys. Anyway, the other really concerning thing I saw from Rakan the other day was going into a gun range and shooting just a pistol and then shooting a semi-automatic weapon. Now, that's fine. I'm not a gun person. I don't think I'll ever have a gun. I don't want to shoot a gun. I don't touch a gun. When they talk about America and the teachers learning how to shoot to protect themselves from school shooters, that sounds like my nightmare. No, thank you. So it's fine. Shooting is a sport. You can do it for safety, especially if you are afraid of being, injured. It could be a good self-defense, and it can also be good for hunting. But Rakan's Instagram account is his business account. That's where he recruits from for his crypto MLM. Okay? It's not, I don't know, I know that they have to be but it's like, what are you putting out there? Because we already say you're a commercial cult, and do we know what's his name? The guy, David. Why can't I remember his name? I've got like his picture in it. There was a siege at Waco. Waco guy? God, what's wrong with my brain? I must be sick. Some guy. He slept with all the girls. All right, let's do this. Oh, please like and subscribe. Thanks. So, and I'll stop winking.
You're good to go. So once I find you on here, did you see Mike's? There we go. So, hello, everybody. What's going on?
Oh, I cannot watch her that fast. Sorry. We tried it. It's
us again. You need to turn your sound off on something, Rakan. Perfect. Okay. So hi, how are you?
Hello. What's up, y'all? So wait, are we looking here or we're looking here? I'm a little confused.
I don't know. I guess we look everywhere. Like it's like the little magic. It's the magic of my setup. My setup looks like I'm looking everywhere. So we'll get you on this, Jess.
What do you mean? Where do you look? What are you on? Are you on Zoom? Like, oh God, these people are supposed to be professional network marketers. They do all their business like this. Come on.
I'm definitely not a Jesse Lee, but okay.
It's okay. You're so close, it's scary. So anyway, what's going on, everyone? This is Rakan Khalifa. He is one of the top networkers in the world right now, and I figured I would bring him on and we would have a conversation that's going to, of course, be on.
He's a top networker? Network marketer? I don't know.
On the podcast, going to be everywhere, and I want to know a little bit more about your journey. I want to know more about what you're doing in network marketing. I want to know all of the things and all the secrets. So I have a bunch of questions for you, but first, why don't you introduce yourself and let the people know who you are?
What's up, everybody? I think you guys can hear me on Instagram. Can they hear me on Instagram?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So I hope everybody's well. My name is Rakan K, and journey. And I've been involved in network marketing for like 4.5 years now. And I remember, when I first got started. First of all, it was a different game back then. Definitely a different game back then. But I know, like, I've wanted more out of life.
Please don't look at me pulling my hair out. I need to brush it. I'm gonna get a brush, okay? Rather than trying to rip it out with my hands.
I've always been the kid that dreams a lot, talk about my dreams, but I felt like I've always had this negative circle where I couldn't talk about my dreams around my circle, so I've always kept them into myself, and I've always spoke to myself. So I started 4.5 years ago. I used to be like I've worked a lot of jobs when I first came to Canada. And one of them was one of the last ones that I worked at was a a club. I used to be a busboy at a club. I remember it like it was yesterday when one of my upline currently, he was partying, and I came in and I'm like, listen, man, I gotta do I gotta do what you do, cause damn. And that's 4.5 years ago.
So something you already said I want to touch on because I think a lot of people don't think about it. And you mentioned your circle. So you don't have to go into detail, obviously, of the people that used to be in your circle. But if you want to talk about a little bit on how elevating your circle has changed your entire life, maybe some of the things that you've done in order to have that. And, I don't know, you can brag a little bit about your success too. I know how successful you are. I'm so freaking proud of you. I think you're incredible for a lot of different reasons. Of course, your success.
What does that mean? What does your pride in him mean? Like, who are you to him? You didn't help him grow. Like, you pretty independently grew.
Network marketing's awesome, but your success outside of it, and then you're just a really good human.
Success outside of network marketing. He doesn't have that. And he's not a good human.
And I think some people can lose that pretty easily.
Yeah.
I'd love to know kind of what your journey has been with that, because obviously the quote is, you become like the 5 people you spend the most of your time with.
I wonder who said that to begin with. You got a lot to answer for, dickhead. Like, these people just ran with it. But you know what else you got to be careful for with this same concept is if you're changing, your circle changes too, because I don't want to hang around with you, loser. Like, come on. Works both ways. Like, you get as successful as them and they could think, oh no, I'm going to become a loser like you. Like,
and I don't think people understand how much it affects them. So if you want to kind of chat on that, I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to the people that they used to be hanging around with, I'm pretty sure sometimes they watch, sometimes they don't. But the hardest thing I think in life is people that are always stuck in their like own little bubble, right? So they're always looking under their feet. And when I realized that a lot of these people are just looking to what they're doing, so I want to work from this time to this time, and nobody bothered me after that. I've always had a different approach, even at my actual job. And yesterday somebody asked me, he's like, Rakan, what if you didn't do network marketing? What would you do? And I said sales. I truly believe sales was.
are you joking? You are a salesman. Oh my god. That's literally what you do. This is going to make me sicker. Oh my god.
What inspired me to do more, because in sales it's a never-ending game. The more you learn, the more you earn. But then I found another part of sales, which is network marketing. Network marketing, you're able to do some selling and then create a team that can create a selling for you.
But you're selling the team. It's all sales. It's all sales. You're selling the lifestyle. You're flexing to sell. Sell. Like, it's all, every part of it is sales. Thank you for this pause game. Damn, both of them. Boom.
You can develop some leadership skills along the way, and you can make an income out of it. So that's kind of what I truly believe. You said it completely right. The 5 people that you chill around with the most is what they'll be able to push you further. Majority of my career, I was always hanging out with people that made maybe less money than me.
4.5 years, the majority of your career. What are you talking about? She's so young. This is ridiculous.
Or I've had most talented them, and I've always, a lot of people can relate to this. I was like intimidated to be around successful people because I thought they were a-holes, or they're gonna reject me because I'm obvious I make less money than them. Or
do you know what I think it is? It's not that. It is hard. He knows that it's not. He knows what he's making his money off. because he's at the top. So he knows he has to take advantage of people. It's these people who stay. Okay, this is the point we were talking about with the bull of MLM. Okay, when people get to the top, they have a choice to make because they know how they earn their money. They know that they earn their money by people on the bottom not earning money. And when they get into that position, they either choose to continue or they leave because they cannot actually, live with themselves. But the ones who know would carry that little bit of guilt because the money quietens the guilt. Okay, money's great. It's going to quieten that guilt right down. But not all the time. And in those moments, that's when you're feeling, oh shit, what if everybody finds out that I'm actually a fraud? That actually I'm just lucky that I had either a following or I got in early or I had some sort of, luck with a team that I took to another company, something like that. Without it, you wouldn't be at the top. And you're always afraid that it's going to be coming down. And we can see that evident. I keep on referencing her. Oh, I should have done a response to her. Tony from Monate. Living it up for 8 years on the top of Monate. In an Australian freaking opportunity call with 9 people. Okay? Like, it happens. And it can happen to him. And that's why I'd be afraid of being, if I were him, I'd be afraid of being around legitimately successful people who built their money on their own hard work and not just like off the backs of other people. I'm not saying he's not a hard worker, sorry. I know he's like nuts and he works all the time, but he works to recruit, and that's the bad part of it.
And I noticed when I started chilling down with actually wealthy people, they had the exact same opposites because they wanted to learn from me, right? Because I was the younger. They wanted to see what social media is all about, and I noticed that wealthy people think very different than poor people. So that's why I started changing my circle, right? I started becoming friends, and I started becoming friends, by the way, with people that I can serve. Right. So let's say I have a friend, or not a friend. I know a guy that it's, a multimillionaire and has this businesses and. Well, I gotta think, how can I serve this person? And if I know how can I serve this person in front of me and not charge anything, because I see people like, oh, they're always like asking, always what's in it for me. Well, in the beginning, what's in it for you is you're gonna be in their circle. So you're technically lowering their average. So you may get their money. You may even like damage them more than anybody else. But so what for me is how can I help this person in anything so I can get close to them and I can just maybe get the pieces and parts and I can grow from that. So
he says, I think it's manipulative the way, how can I get something out of this person? My interpretation completely, but that's what I just heard. He's like, I'm going to try and justify my position being here, but bit sussy, all right?
So there's like so much in that. So I want to start there and kind of reverse some stuff, because I was just with your sister last night and some of your GC team here in Dallas, and they're so cute. I love them all. And I actually said something you said, because this is a story you definitely don't know about me, but which is kind of saying a lot because I feel like you know a lot. But I had that same problem where I needed to get around successful people because I realized that successful people, they walk differently, they talk differently, they move differently, they behave differently, they're more structured, they're more scheduled, they're less distracted. There's just so many differences between successful people and then people who are constantly struggling. Their mindset's different, their consistency's different. It's just like on and on and on. And they said something about like, who was your first mentor? I said, I don't know if she was like a mentor, but she was number one in my first company. And she had an abundance of money. I had a lack of money. She had a lack of time. I had an abundance of time. And so I would spend my extra time. I would carpool my way over to her house, which was over an hour away. I would figure out a way to get there. And then all I did was I served her. So, and
That's
that
so
sounds
hard.
crazy. I said, I don't know if the right word is like servant, but literally I was like her little servant. I would pack her trials for her and, or not, we didn't do trials. I'd pack her orders for her. I would stamp her stuff. I would put, the labels on whatever. I would manage her calendar for her because I needed to get around her. I would listen to her on phone calls and how she was like the way that she would interview people compared to how I was talking to people on the phone. And it was completely different. I was terrible. She was amazing.
Is this a true story, Erin Bees? Let me know.
I watched the way I saw the way she,
I'm not saying that, sorry, I'm not indicating Jessie Lee's a liar. Sometimes she embellishes, but obviously she wasn't, born like this. So it's interesting to hear little stories. She sort of gives herself away in stories sometimes.
spoke to the mailman. I saw the way her inventory was, and all I did was I served her until I started learning all these skills from her. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but I was learning all these different skills from her, and then I started recruiting like her.
Yeah.
And I was recruiting like her because of the proximity. So she ended up, of course, it ended up being where I had given her so much value in my time and doing the stuff that she didn't want to do that it was able to elevate me because I was learning the skill sets because I could not afford anything else. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, if you know what the mentor is and they can be around you, like
100%.
Like I just gave. So I have a, so you said you were always different. I want to know what that means. Like, talk to me about that. You said because I relate, but I want to know, like, if you were always different, like, kind of give me what you mean by that. And if anyone relates, like, you can like holler at us in the comments because we can see them. But I'm curious, like, what does that mean?
I've always thought of maybe, let's say if there's two people, right? And these two people, and then it's me. So these two people are looking at something and it's really straight. I'm looking at it from sideways. So I've been like, even with how I like, let's just naturally right now talk about it. I'm an Arab guy that dyed his hair yellow. That's very outside of my culture. Like they look at me in a very weird way.
I've been dyeing my hair since I was 11 and I'm 45, okay? I know I live in a different culture, but hair dye? And you're Arab, but you've been living in Canada. I don't imagine that you'd be the same if you remained living if you hadn't come to Canada. I hate it when it's like Jasmine. I'm always 10 steps ahead of everyone. How the fuck do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know. You don't know what the other two, in his example, these two people are looking at it this way, I'm looking at it this way. How do you know that? Okay? I often say that I'm weird, right? But it's all in context. I wouldn't be weird next to, like, does anyone know the drag queen Tammy Brown? She's weird. She's weirder than me. Alright? It's just giving pick me MLM. Oh, I'm so weird and quirky. I'm so random, love her,
So I just thought of things different. And I've always, by the way, just so you know, I was always against entrepreneurship. Against it. Because my dad was an entrepreneur. And I've seen my dad do this. There's 1 month he has money, 1 month broke. 1 month has money, 1 month broke. 3 months we live the best life. We travel all over the world. We have amazing drivers. And 3 months we didn't even have a car at the house. And I just hated the ups and downs. And I've noticed that a lot of my friends, their dad has jobs and they just had this in life, right? By them growing, they just have bigger stuff. And then when I first came to Canada, I actually confronted my dad that I told him, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be an entrepreneur, but your life was stressful.
You're not an entrepreneur. You didn't create anything. You didn't invest in, like, the company isn't yours. You're a salesman for the company. Like, you're high up and you got a lot of power, but you are not an entrepreneur. I'd be a rich entrepreneur if I could have $1 for everyone who calls himself an entrepreneur, and they're not one. Okay. That sounds really stressful as a child. I can sort of relate, but ours was poverty and not so poverty. Like, my dad was he just didn't see a use for 9 to 5 work unless we needed something. And Mum would say, "Oh, we got to get a new washing machine or something," and Dad would go to work and he'd get a little bit of a contract and get enough money to do whatever he needed to do, and then come back home again. So, but yeah, it's okay for everything to be like that rather than, because yours is just like that. But Rakan, when the bottom falls out of everything, is going to be like. So I hope you're investing wisely and not flexing too much like everybody else does.
I just want to have a job and I want to relax. And I used to work in, one of the biggest gyms here in Canada. And, I had my manager that I kind of have a very similar story where he was like, this guy can sell water to fish, swear to God. So I was very close to him, right? And I was seeing what he does and he was like, it's a gym. It's like he was like doing the towel like this, showing people the towel and showing the experience. He was selling the experience of the gym. It was a gym. Like there's nothing crazy about the gym that we have. It's a bunch of weights, but he just knew how to sell the gym. Anyway.
How curious. We were just talking about the bull of MLM and he had his own gym. Quite a few of these MLM boys are trying to re-establish themselves as men in MLMs. Weird flex, but okay.
So my point is that when I started working for him, he started elevating what my thinking was, right? So Rakan, learn how to do this, and I was very against. Here's what my problem was: I was very against somebody giving me feedback, and I've always felt negative when it comes to feedback.
I bet he's still like that. Oh no, I'm shaking the table. I'm like pulled up right to the table.
And I've never kind of shifted that mindset into, well, yes, it's a negative thing that he's telling me, but I can turn it into a positive thing.
Duh. Feedback actually indicates something that is supposed to improve you. It's not just criticism, it's not just hate, and that's what I'm offering too. This is feedback, really. It's constructive criticism. Something that's useful for you to grow as a human. Here's my constructive criticism. I think you're taking advantage of people to make money off them. Please leave your MLM, because you'd probably be a very successful salesman anyway and make a lot of money for yourself without actually exploiting people. This has been my PSA of feedback for Rakan Khalifa, but he won't because too much money at stake.
Because once I turn that negative into a positive thing, I know that if I apply it, it can potentially change my life. And that's what happens. I started becoming really good at sales, started really selling at a higher level, very similar to what he does. And I start having some big success in the gym. But I noticed that no matter how much I sell, there's still a cap. And he was the one that was telling me, you should start investing. You should start putting up your money. You should start, putting money away. You should not be spending money like all. And we had other people that used to work with us. He's like,
of course. That makes a lot of sense. Of course. If you're earning a lot, like that's good advice. But I don't think he meant join an MLM. He obviously would not have meant that because he had a legitimate business that was successful. So,
well, look at these, people. They're investing, they're wasting their money at the club, they're wasting their money at the bars, they're wasting their money on the stupid stuff. But you can actually take that money and you can invest. And he actually, like he was, telling me about stocks and stuff. And that's kind of how I got involved in the financial markets in general. So I agree, number one, with having somebody that you can be close to. And number two, just thinking a little bit different rather than everybody. Everybody in the world, almost 97% of people on earth, they think after finishing school, that's it. I'm done.
Wrong. That's a weird. This pause. Amazing. No. Oh my goodness. Like, even as long as like 15, 16 years ago, there was a statistic that said that I think people will change jobs up to 4 or 5 times in their lifetime. Now, from now on, it used to be you just have one job, one career, and people were constantly changing. So that's just not true. That yeah, there are people who, especially in my little country town, who will stay here and they'll just be, work at the local shops, and the husband will work at the mines, and the wife will work, whatever, and they'll have kids here, and the kids will move. There's always going to be those people. But now more than ever, people are questioning about their life after school. The school system has not been revolutionized or has not been changed since the Industrial Revolution. And school was only created to make people workers because we needed to find an excuse to make people used to staying in the one spot for, the whole day. Because before that time, life was agrarian and people would be out on farms, they'd be outside, etc., etc. But once the Industrial Revolution happened, they were like, well, we need workers and people don't want to stay here because they want to go outside. And it's like, well, let's grow little workers with schools and then they'll be used to staying inside. Do you know what I mean? And that's still how school runs now. However, after school, it's much different. When I finished school, I had what people call a gap year now. I called it, I'm not going to uni. I got nothing else to do. But I spent a year working and I went, oh my God, my brain feels numb. I need to go to university. And I applied afterwards and then, now I'm a teacher. So it's definitely not like you are saying. I think more people than not are considering that there is a broader spectrum of things to do once school is finished. And as a teacher, I tell people that. I tell students that all the time because we do have a selection of teachers who go, you have to decide what subject you're doing and you better do this and you better buckle down or you'll never be anything. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, don't listen to those people. It doesn't matter what you do in school. If you have something that you'd really like to do outside of school, wait a year and then just to go to university because that's all you need to do. School does not matter once you finish. So I hate the pressure that we put on young people to decide what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. Please don't do that. Okay, thank you.
And I was never a school person. I've hated books my entire life. I'm not good. I'm just not good at reading a book. And I hated it 12 years. And the problem is my younger sister she was school smart. So my parents, well, look at your younger sister. Look at, she's smart. Why can't you figure this out? And for me to come to, because I didn't want to get stuck in Saudi, I wanted to come to Canada. For me to come to Canada, I had to get like an 80 something on my report card. And I had to like figure this out. It's either I pay somebody, I cheat. I had to had to learn.
Did you cheat? Don't lie. Did you?
100%. I'm the best cheater. I created systems. Oh, listen to this. I created systems in high school to cheat. I was the best guy. I used to. That's how I made fortune in high school. Anyway, don't.
That's a bit concerning. I don't actually think that's very normal. So maybe here's thinking outside the box. Like a box that's got bars on the window and like a prison. Because that sounds so fucking suspicious. So you rigged it so that you could come to Canada. I want. I don't think he lives in Canada anymore. Wow. When was this fucking... Wow. I saw it in the comments, but I didn't know the context. And it was like someone saying, oh, wow, I would have done it too to get to Canada. And I'm like, oh, what's this? He had systems to cheat in high school. This man, this servant leader, this Muslim man who is very spiritual, I think that's really, really concerning to have such dishonest intentions, It's a little bit evil, to be honest. That's how I'm feeling. I feel it's a future indicator for being a criminal because you would do something like that. Could you fucking study? Apply yourself? Because you had a really good, goal? Because we all know my tagline for Rakan. It's, is he a genius or is he just bilingual? It's the second one. He's just bilingual. He's not a genius. And he's proving it now because he didn't even pass school. He cheated his way. Okay? Yeah, it takes some smarts to be able to cheat your way and to do the systems and everything like that. Maybe he's just a sociopath. I'm not diagnosing him of any of that. That's just an opinion. All right, let's keep going. Jesse Lee thinks it's fantastic. Keep cheating. Anyway.
Judge me for who I was, please. Judge me for who I am right now. So once
I'll do both.
Once I noticed that whatever I'm learning, I'm consuming and I'm applying it, and it's changing my life and giving me progress, I got addicted. Similar to the gym, you work out once, twice, 3 times, you're seeing the bicep come out. I was like, ooh, I'm getting, I'm gonna go to the beach. But it's the same thing with books. I noticed that I'm reading a book and applying it, and it was effectively changing my life. So every problem that I've had in my life, there is a book out there that I took. I'm like, okay, well, the solution is here. Maybe not here, and then another book, and another book, and another book, and another video. And that's this is how I think me just wired different than everybody else.
You read books and you watch videos. What? Lots of people do that, idiot. Like, what are you talking about? That's not different. That's the same thing everybody else does. Every fucking network marketer does that. They call it self-development, even though it's just reading. All right? I'm writing in a journal. It's not revolutionary. Far out, man. God damn. It's just bullshit. And these people just lap it up. Yum yum. Gonna drink it all. I'm getting snarky. I'm sorry. I've been, while I was getting ready to, I was editing Vero. Good on you, Vero. I was watching Snark Week. So maybe I'm just, getting snarky, just it's the snark effect. All right.
Okay. I was just wondering. I agree. I think most people are very comfortable with the idea of being average. And as much as I can't be thrilled that you cheated, I'm sure that we all have, right? But it's almost kind of that mentality of whatever it takes to get yourself out of a situation. So I love that. And I think obviously knowledge is power when it's applied. And so whenever your applied knowledge is from the books, I think is obviously really powerful. So
way to spin it, Jessie Lee. she turned it around. Gotta give her that. That was a good segue. It's like, let's stop talking about this cheating shit.
You mentioned sales, which I love, of course. Similar thing. I knew that I would end up in sales in some capacity because I felt like.
Didn't she sell something from a brownstone? She had 3 jobs or some crap.
You could actually control your life through sales. And so
I think sales is highly unpredictable. There's a classical play about it, The Death of a Salesman. Hello? Arthur Miller, have we heard of it? Like, it's one of the quintessential American texts. Readers, you're both readers, right? Yeah, like it's unequivocally a difficult job to be consistent in because, you're depending on commission, so you don't know, you can't be, certain of a pay. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's what she said, but that's just my opinion. I hate sales, hate them. Especially, oh my God, people who are selling crap in the middle of the mall. Just let me go to freaking Typo and get a pillow that looks like a hamburger without bothering me. I've also got to stop in at Peter Alexander and smell the vanilla candles. And then I'm going to look at an expensive camera at JB Hi-Fi that I cannot afford. So just leave me alone. Don't want to buy your ticket. Thank you.
And for me, it's like the capped salaries of jobs, like you mentioned the gym, and then similar, obviously, anywhere else.
There are sales positions that are not capped salary, so.
And even in jobs that are sales jobs, you can only work so many hours, you can only do so much stuff before they're like, you can't work anymore. Like you have to do whatever.
Have you got any examples? I might need my source post-it. The post-its have been a little bit missing of late. I might need a source there. What if you own the business? You own your own sales business. You can have uncapped commission and you could be open all the time if you want. It's up to you. It's your world, JL. Come on.
So, what attracted you though to the network marketing model? Because you were 4.5 years, you were selling well in the gym, you were doing like you weren't broke in the gym anymore, right? And like my story is kind of similar, right? Where I was in sales, whether it's waiting tables and I'm upselling, or I was selling massage chairs and I'm upselling or whatever.
She was selling massage chairs out of a brownstone. That's right.
I know why I obviously made the step into network marketing, even from direct sales after doing all of that. Yeah. But I'm just curious, like what made you, I know you just had a personality that was open, but what was the catalyst? What made you say, okay, I'm a businessman, I can see that this is actually a better way, even when
he's not a businessman. He's just a guy who sells crypto education.
When it's probably not that popular of a business model in your family background, or I don't know how popular network marketing is in Saudi, or even
well, it's illegal in Saudi, so.
Oh, perfect. So maybe that's why you were attracted to. I'm just kidding.
Maybe, I don't know. I like illegal stuff. Anyway, no. I believe I know the answer.
Okay.
And I was talking to one of my leaders the other day, and he just had like one of these moments, and he's like, "Bro, what do you think we do for a living?" And I told him, "I think we sell hope." A lot of the times at my job, I felt hopeless, and the reason why I felt hopeless is that was it. That was it. Like it's from that a management position to like a VP position, and that's it. And you don't control. You're not in control. Maybe I have a control personality, but I never had control of my life. And maybe it's a part of me being lazy that I've always when the idea of when I've done a lot of research about network marketing, because we've had companies in the Middle East that they're still lasting to this day. It's crazy, right? Although it's a lot of the parts, it's not even okay to be doing some stuff. But you know what happened? I had one day I was sitting down. Okay, so I used to be a customer for this company, correct? So this is the funniest story. I used to be a customer for this company, and I liked what their product is, and I was learning, I was growing. And one time my upline calls me and she's like, or my enroller, she calls me and she's like, "Oh, we have an educational seminar in this place. I think you should come." I'm like, you know what? I'm free that day anyway. Let me just listen to what they're gonna say. And that day, I sat down right at the front. I sat down like this, right? I'm just, you can tell I'm very close to that information. And I remember, my current upline, he was talking about freedom. And
I'm going to guess that's Anthony Napolitano. And there was that bit in the middle where he was just like, they're illegal. Then there's some companies. It was like, what are you talking about? There's a little bit where he was just filling words, where it was like he was trying to think of the next thing he was saying.
I noticed that he's free. And when I'm talking about freedom, I wasn't talking about financial freedom. I was talking about personality-wise. He was free. He was free from inside, so that made him be free outside. And I
How do you know that? That's weird.
I just got inspired to that, and he gave me hope that possibly there's a different life. Because
Oh my God, he finessed you. Damn, you got finessed by Anthony Napolitano. What's up? Anthony Napolitano here.
the majority of people that I used to be chilling with, especially from university, they somewhat had an idea what they wanted to do. Some people wanted to be a doctor, an engineer, and all these things. And I was supportive. I was cool with it. I just never knew what I really wanted to do.
I was okay with them being doctors and engineers. Like, they're fucking really good professions. And it's okay if you didn't know what you wanted to do. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do my first year of university. So I just studied something basic just to get in there. You still don't have to know now.
So, and I don't believe anything happens by accident. Everything happens for you, not to you. So I know that I was supposed to hear that sentence when he said, "I'm free," and I was supposed to interpret it in a way where, I want to be free as well. So I feel like that.
He just gaslit himself to manipulate himself. I knew that was the message I was supposed to get. Oh my God, it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. I think he believes this shit.
That was the main push for me to really hump on the network marketing train.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's really powerful because everyone, like, there's hundreds, like, I don't know, whatever. There's like 500 people watching this right now on all the different platforms, and who knows, like, the podcast is huge, obviously. Like, and with all of those different souls listening to this, everybody's getting something different out of it, right? There's always some kind of different takeaway. And, obviously we just had this event this last weekend. I know.
I'm sorry that I winked just then. I promised at the beginning of the video I was going to stop.
You obviously came. Thank you, by
Awesome.
the way. Appreciate you. And then I was at your event the weekend before.
Thank you for that.
And it's like what people pull out of different conversations. Like, you heard freedom because that's what you needed. Like, something inside your soul needed that. And so I love that. The freedom, whether that's, I don't know what freedom exactly is for you or anybody listening to this, but like, for me, network marketing, it was always the time freedom. It was always the idea of time freedom, which, by the way, anyone listening, like, you don't have time freedom for a long time.
Sure.
Right. At this point, yeah. Like, if I, quite frankly, if Rakan didn't want to work and if I didn't want to work, we don't have to work anymore. We could live off residuals. It's just not in either of our personalities. But the time freedom it's a lot of not time freedom before you get time freedom.
I appreciate that she said that. But if you have time freedom, why are you not using it? And she's been on a month-long holiday with her two boyfriends. I don't know, are they a throuple or not? Sound off in the comments. But yeah, like, this is the first vacation she's had in many, many years. She's a very rich woman, and she really, the only way that she's enjoyed her money is through, labels and wearing designer things. And it's like, it would be nice if you could enjoy the money that you made, because you're making a lot. And, especially, like, I just wouldn't be able to leave the dogs. And I know that she's meant to love her dogs, but she has not been a responsible dog owner at the moment, because she's not treating their things that need to go to the vet with vet medication and things like that. But I don't know the full details. I've seen people talking about it. and she wants to buy a plane so that the dogs can fly with her. I don't know if that's going to be stressful for the dogs, but, you know, I'm glad she can enjoy some of it. But I think that there's a problem when you do have people who are recruiting who are promising time freedom when really it's location freedom.
Financial freedom. It's a lot of non-financial freedom before you get financial freedom. The destination freedom is one of my favorite for sure. You know, I love to travel. I know you love to travel, see the world, etc. But whatever free is for you, I think a lot, like if there's any assignment already out of this, it's people need to define what that is for them and then start reverse engineering what they need to do inside of their businesses in order to actually achieve that freedom. And like you mentioned at the beginning of this, or maybe, no, that wasn't this. It's because I was listening to your call earlier. Like your mom, you know, you got her a Mercedes and she's making this money and she's doing all these different things. I think sometimes we forget that the freedom can also be for the people you love. You know, same thing. My dad's house is paid off. My dad, like I bought him a car. I did, you know, same kind of thing. And for me, that's a level of peace that I don't know a lot of people that can actually ever experience that. And so when people are like, oh, network marketing, la, 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 it's
Plenty of people can. You don't have to be in network marketing to be able to do that for your family. There's plenty of people who just make a lot of money in normal jobs. And the amount of people who can actually do that in network marketing is minimal.
like, I just wish you understood the ability to give freedom to people you love is a whole other level. It's a whole other level.
People understand it's not a hard concept to grasp. What is not happening is that they don't get the chance to do that. They're sold on a dream to do that, and that's the problem.
Priceless.
It's priceless. Yes. Okay. So I want you to tell the story because you started mentioning, you mentioned basically investing your time and your money into, you know, developing into the man that you are now. It's like my favorite story of us. So, well, I don't know, maybe not my favorite story of us, but it's one of my favorite stories of us. I want to hear the story of when you were going to go to GoPro and it was like all falling apart, and you know exactly what story I want you to tell. So you have to tell it. It's so good. It's like my favorite.
Well,
So
here's
good.
what happened.
Yeah, tell us the tale. You got to be really dramatic about it, you know? Dramatic. Give us the drama.
I will try as much as I can. So here's what happened. 2019 was my first 6-figure year, right? So after not having any success in network marketing for a while, you know, 6 months I went to 6 figures, and I was maintaining that rank that entire year. So every month I was making anywhere from like $10,000 to $12,000 a month, and I was super excited. And then, so I'll never forget that day. I hit it on January 31st, 2019, and I sustained it up until end of October, November. Now, November, something happened, right? We had, you know, the company decided to make some changes, a lot of changes, and
Ooh, what changes? Was it when Kuvera went to iGenius because they were investing in what was it, the Daisy thing, and it was actually not real, and you know the Joseph Camarata, was he the guy, the CEO of InvestView, the one who was wanted on fraud charges and tried to escape, etc., etc. Is that the problem you had in August 2019? You might want to explain it to people rather than just go, "Oh, we had big changes in the company." I didn't get all those changes right. Please see Toad Girl 1. Who else has got videos on that? Kiki Chanel and Sketchy Characters in Crime. She goes over it as well. Come on, Rakan.
and I've had almost 800 people on my team. 700 were gone the first week. So now I'm back to 100 people. Majority are customers, and the rest don't even believe. And I've had 3 key leaders, like I would say 6 people, 5 to 6 people that were still all in. They're not having success, and all their teams have left. So even if they had success, they no longer have success. And prior to that, Eric had a video, and I've never been to GoPro, and it was my dream to go to GoPro. So I said, finally, this is my year. I have, I'm making 6 figures. I gotta go to GoPro, and I gotta get inspired. I gotta see. I gotta chill with the greats. And at that point, I was, watching you on social media as well, and YouTube. And Eric was talking about you should invest in your leaders and you should buy 10 tickets. And I believe the 10 tickets was or 8 tickets was $10,000.
Yeah.
Right. But I make 10 grand. So I took a whole month check as it is. And I paid Eric to have 8 tickets or 9 or whatever tickets to actually have my people attend GoPro. And I told my team, this was like in June-ish. Or July. I told my team, listen, I bought this ticket. I invested in the team, and the best 8 leaders that we have, we're gonna take them to Las Vegas, and they're gonna be there, and then. So the problem is the top 8 performing leaders left. So I have 8 tickets, and even if the 6 people that I had belief in me don't even have the money to come to Vegas. Right? So I wasn't even gonna entertain the subject. So guess what happened? Here's what happened. What happened is I called Eric's office. I'm like, hello, friend, I need a refund because I can't afford this. I actually cannot afford this. Like I went back from making $10,000 a month to $200 a week. I'm like stressed. I have a Maserati that I need to pay for, a house that I need to pay for, a family to take care of. I need to figure this out. So he answers like, can I get your ticket number? And he puts on ticket. He's like, yeah, we can't give you a refund. There's like 3 weeks left for the event. There's no refunds. And I'm like, bro, my team left.
Eric never gives refunds ever.
I'm like, my team left. Who do you want me to give the tickets to? He's like, your best bet is to switch that ticket into a super VIP ticket, which you're able to be, having a super sitting all the way at the front and meeting all the speakers. I'm like, well, I have no choice anyway, so we might as well do that. You know what I mean? And I didn't have proper money management that year, so I spent a lot of money that I've made. I've had a couple $1,000s in my bank account, but the one thing that happened to me is that my backbone was straight. You can never tell that I don't make money. So we're sitting down. I remember.
That's an interesting thing to say in a company that's well known for flexing. Did you just say the quiet part out loud, Rakan? I think you did. Now, I'm sorry, I'm eating my Blue Heaven jelly, the product that I would give up if it were to become an MLM. But it's not going to, because they make enough money as a legitimate business. One of those loyal leaders was Lisa Rambo. Blech. She wasn't even in the top 8. She sucks. I'm sorry. She's not a good person. I don't even need to know her in real life. Damn, that girl sucks. Anyway.
Eric was like, who makes $100,000 a year? Stand up. And I had to stand up because shit, I'm mama raised no. Anyway, so I stand up, and I think right after that I see Jesse Lee go on stage, and I've seen Jesse Lee, of course, way before that. And on social media, I don't really know her like that, but I watched it, and I made sure I introduced myself to a lot of speakers because I needed them to know who I was. A majority of them didn't even say hi to me, but it's fine, it's okay. But Jesse Lee did say hi to me, right? And I'm like, oh, well, somebody noticed me finally, right? I don't know if this is her personality or she's just, whatever. Anyway, so
because there's always someone you can grift, and you're both the same. For real.
At that point, I sat down. We went to Eric's house, and this is like the lowest point of my career. Like, this is where nothing is working. But my team is gone. I don't know if I'm gonna last. And everybody else was saying he's done. And sometimes these negative thoughts, no matter how strong you are, sometimes they get into your head. Yeah. So they said too much that I was done, that I had to really make a decision. So I remember I sat down with Eric that day, and I heard them expanding internationally. And that's how the idea of launching the Middle East came in. Anyway, that would be a long story, but this is pretty much how I met Jesse Lee. This is my first interaction. This is my first hi to Jesse Lee.
Well, I'm glad that I was nice. I think I'm pretty much nice to everybody, but I'm glad I said hello to you. It's turned out well.
Yeah.
So what do you do though when someone
She didn't remember. She must meet a lot of people though, in all fairness.
says you're done? Like, because this is a winner's mentality. And I know you have a winner's mentality. We've talked about this a million times, like just one-on-one with our own time together. Because for me, I mean, I know you know this, but there's been so many times people have said all kinds of crazy stuff about me. Yeah. And I will go into like anger mode and create new ranks and go nuts. And then that's not the healthiest place to come from in your business for sure. You can't maintain a place of anger. But
what does that mean? I go into anger mode and I create new ranks. What the fuck does that mean? How do you create from what? In what? In the Empire? What are you talking about? That was really confusing. I've never really seen her get angry. It's usually like passive aggressive and, oh, bless your soul, you're just so confused and you need love, you know? Like, I haven't seen her attack anyone like that other than the cease and desist, but that wasn't really a direct attack. You know, it's still passive aggressive, but just saying, you know, I'm going to sue them, blah, blah, blah. But she isn't as reactive as she sort of used to be. She's very much PR, JL these days.
But where does your mentality go? Like, because you're clearly somebody who, I swear I've said this to you, but just in case I haven't, I just want to say it to you publicly. Like, I don't think you'll ever lose. You know, you have that thing about you where it really doesn't matter what knocks you down, you're going to get back up again. And it's so uncommon. So many people let other people's opinions and perceptions and...
You guys only know people in network marketing. Get out into the wider world. There's heaps of people who are like very resilient. They go through so much. They go through trauma. They go through trials. They go through, you know, so much in their lives and they get back up. You're not unique. Stop being pick-me network marketers, all right? You're not like other girls, all right? It's stupid and it's just dumb. Like, it's frustrating because you just think that you're so wise and you have this like life experience, but network marketing is not the real world. And it's such a little microcosm of its own ecosystem. And you think that that's how the real world runs, and it's not like that. Humans look after each other. They're not competing. They're not trying to sell you something every second of the day. And that's why when Colleen from No Shame Sales Game hassles everybody about posting the pumpkin spice latte, that's why everybody's like, we can just enjoy things. We don't have to get paid for everything we do, right? But network marketers don't think like that. Even though they don't get paid for posting on Instagram either, unless they have a popular account, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they can get paid for posting on Instagram, but not by Starbucks, okay? They might have an affiliate link. Who knows? But you know what I mean. The point is, your world is not the same as the wider world.
Beliefs about them change their entire trajectory of their life instead of creating their own life. And you don't do that. You're very sure of where you're going. And it's not that you don't have setbacks. I know you do. But what did that do for you when all these people were like, oh, he's done, the team left, the company changed, this. Like, where does your head
How did the company change? Do you want to focus on that one? Don't think so.
go? when something like that happens?
I can't lie. I did go into a dark mode. But I had to wake up quick. Like I went to a dark mode for like 48 hours, right? And then I had to just snap back at it.
That's not normal either. That sounds like toxic positivity, in my opinion. Sorry for shaking the camera. I just feel like I can't sit up straight. I'm just like curled over the microphone. Everything makes me feel sick. I'm about halfway. How long have we been recording for? Open recorder. An hour. I'll go a little bit longer. Okay. Oh, go away now. I don't need you. All right, we'll go for another couple minutes.
And really think. Well, I agree. Coming from a place of anger, you can't sustain that. But sometimes you gotta let that fuel you a little bit.
Yep.
So I kind of used it just a little bit in the beginning to take the plane off the ground, and then of course, operating from a place of love is what sustained what or grew or 10x what I had at that point. But I feel like when I'm gonna give you a story. There's
Of course you are. Do you know why? Stories sell. I learned that from Jessie Lee Ward. Stories sell. That's what it's all about. I'm just going to take a pause because I would like to show you this video of Rakan that I found. It was pretty interesting. I wonder, did I download it? Who do I want? I want GCW. You can see him angry. Is it in here? And I can't remember. Nope. That's Kevin. Oh, I haven't done my video about Kevin. Sorry, everyone. Not that one. Oh, that's the culty one. Oh, Kevin. Oh, damn. Oh, maybe big uplines. It's in the uplines. That's where we are. Rakan! Oh, did you see the name of the Lily folder? I'm sorry, I cannot stand her. Ugh. Lily puke. Rakan. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Let's watch this one. I'm just going to play it as a different file because... So this was from an account called Exposing iGenius. So it's very interesting.
That's what I fight me. Let's go fight me, bro. That's what I thought. Now get the fuck out of here. Oh my god, no cameras, please. Cuff me up. Guarantee you, fight me. Let's go.
That's your boy Rakan right there. Look at that tough man. I think that was in the Cabrera days. So I thought that was really interesting myself. What do you think out there? So you can see, I've been collecting videos on them because I think it's a really concerning cult. And especially when young Rakan is practicing gun skills. David Koresh. Haha. I knew it was David somebody. God damn it, I'm an idiot. Took me an hour. An hour. I'm sick. Leave me alone, me.
A lot of you guys know I love history. And, the Ottoman Empire, Mehmed II, since he was a child, he kept telling his dad and grandfather that I'm going to be the person that's going to open Constantinople. And he kept saying, I'm going to open Constantinople. I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the guy. And what happened is his grandfather tried, didn't work. His dad tried, didn't work. And he grew, and he wasn't older. He was like 22, 23 years old. And he was very inspired by Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great took majority of the world at the age of 19. Mehmed II, what he did.
Jessie Lee doesn't have a fucking clue. Yeah, I know. Kanda? Yeah. I know.
It is he had a different war strategy to open Constantinople. He came with a new idea. He came with these big I don't know what they call it, the these big machines that they're breaking down walls. Forgot what
This is your story, mate. Come on, get it together.
they're called. But he came with a very different mentality, and he invested a lot into that, and he believed that that was the weapon that's gonna destroy the roof under Constantinople, and they're gonna give up, and we're gonna take over Constantinople. And here's what happened. So he gets there, and it looks that they're winning, right? But they're firing and firing and firing, and at one point, these walls were coming down. It just wasn't as effective anymore, and his engineers are telling him, "You should stop. You should take some time. You should not take, and you should like really relax." And that's exactly what happened. He kept going and kept going. Him and some of his big leaders at that point, they were sitting not near but close to the biggest machine that they had, and the engineer was working on it. And he kept telling Mehmet II, "It's gonna blow. It's gonna blow. You have to stop." And he's like, "At it again, again, again." And at one point, it blows, and everybody around the machine dies. Everybody, including the engineers. And he gets hurt really bad. Him and his leaders, right? His generals. So they, of course, they take him back to the tent, and that's at this point the people that the people that used to live in Constantinople, the British at that point, and a couple other than the British, they like, okay, well, this is we can attack now, because they see that they got damaged, and they attacked, and they actually start losing. So now the Ottomans are losing.
Look, he's not telling this well. It's a bit stuttery, and he's usually usually a pretty smooth speaker. So this must be one of his newer stories, because it's a bit annoying to listen to.
They were winning the war for so long, now they're losing.
Right.
Mehmed II woke up, he did some praying, right? And here's what happened. It's funny, all his generals were against it. It's like, bro, let's just withdraw. Let's just go home. We can come back stronger. We can come back stronger. We can just recoup. And he said, no matter what I do, right, I would rather die right here than go back, right? I would rather die with that hope I would rather die with hope than live without it. And this is kind of one of his famous sayings. And he just went at it again and again and again, and eventually, he opened Constantinople, which is, Istanbul right now, or in Turkey. And the Ottoman Empire lasted for years after that. But it just takes that person that just said no, again, until it happens. And
Great story. That's not representative of you. You're going to put yourself as the head of the Ottoman Empire? That's a pedestal? Okay. Okay. So, in other words, you're willing to sort of put people at risk for the gains? That's how I'm going to interpret it. Because all that matters is your belief, your success, your legacy. It's kind of shitty if you have to sacrifice everybody to get there, including the engineers or the people who create the thing, or, the thing that helped you. So if we're going for an exact analogy, it's telling me something else. It's telling you that you need to keep going. It's telling me that you'll go at any cost.
happened.
Oh, that gave me chills. I mean, I know the story, and
I'm too sick. Gave me chills. Oh! You get me chills. Oh my God, I'm dying. You get me chills. Ow! I think I've lost my mind now. I know the story. It gave me chills. Ow! Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Oh my God. Yes, of course. Jessie Lee Wood, well-known Ottoman Empire expert. That's why she called her own thing the Empire, after the Ottoman Empire. Of course. Hit press play.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, again. So I had to follow up on that. So not in our funny way that we joke around, but you said people told him you should relax.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, what is your, I know you get it.
Yeah.
I know people tell you are a crazy man.
Yeah.
I know people tell you are out of control. I know people tell you, you know what, like, you're already successful. Can you chill out with the needing to open restaurants and needing to invest and needing to travel and needing to build big.
Who's saying that? That's not criticism anyone receives, really. Stop being so successful. Look, Australians, we have this thing called the tall poppy syndrome, and it's when you cut down somebody who's really successful because, you're jealous or whatever. And it is definitely something that Australians do struggle with, because I don't think we like it when people take themselves too seriously. So it's like, if it's like when Kylie Minogue went overseas, went to England, and she came back with an English accent. Well, everybody was like, who do you think you are, bitch? Love Kylie, don't get me wrong. Oh my God, did everybody know Neighbours finished? I didn't even know. One of my students told me. I'm like, what? And Kylie was in that last episode. Anyway, only the Aussies will get that one, or English. Hey, English people. That apparently because they didn't sign back on in England. It was very popular in England. Anyway, people do not worry about people being successful unless they're billionaires, because there are no ethical billionaires. You have to do something unethical to be doing it, all right? Generally, everybody wants everybody to be successful, but not at the expense of other people in network marketing. That's the only caveat that I've got. Open a restaurant, please do, and leave iGenius so that you can actually, contribute to the world in a positive way, rather than continue to flex and postulate and talk and etc. Well, they make nothing.
Your business, and you like when are you like chill out? Like, when are you gonna relax?
Like I say like a lot as well. I don't think Jessie's, maybe she's about 10 to 15 years younger than me.
And I just want to know, because you know this, and again, I just want to say it publicly. I've only said it on one stage. I don't know that many network marketers. I know 2 network marketers that are at the top of their game, that are working like they are broke. And one is Jessie Lee Ward. And
I knew she was going to say herself.
One is Rakan Khalifa. And so I want to know, because I know my personality, but I want to know, can you tell people, what is that about you? Why are you still doing what you're doing? Why are you still pushing the way you're pushing? What do you feel like saying, even though you might not say it? I know sometimes you're.
I'm going to predict an answer here, okay? My prediction is that, like, he was in that company getting $10,000 to $12,000 a month and maintained it from January to October. And then the company disbanded and he lost it all. Didn't matter how many people were underneath him. He lost it. That's why he works like that now, because he's afraid of losing it again. I don't think he'll say that, but that's the reason.
Yeller, so I don't know what you're going to say right now, but when somebody's like, chill out, relax, take a vacation, la, 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 la.
Yeah, I think I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
You see, I've always been inspired to do more, and I think my biggest fear in life is to be normal. My biggest fear in life is to even be perceived as, oh, it's just Rakan. He's just here. And maybe that's a little bit of
Excuse me, sir. On your yacht party, because it was not a yacht, it was a boat, he was perched on the edge of the boat while people were chanting around him, IPA, IPA, where he was anointing the new rank ups to IPA with a ring, and he was like, and they were like going, ooh, ooh, on his command. The whole crowd. You cannot tell me that people at iGenius treat you like that. That's bullshit. You are revered as a leader. They don't think of you as just Rakan in your company, and you know it. Like, that's bullshit. You know you can control the whole crowd. You control all the game changers. Who was crying in those videos? Watch Isabella Lance's videos on Rakan. Check out Heather C's video on Rakan. He's dangerous because he is so influential. And the footage of him shooting the gun really did worry me. Like I said, that's what happened with David Koresh. That's what happened with Jim Jones. Jim Jones started out as a really liberal preacher. He was one of the only churches that had both black and white people worshipping. He was very loved by black people at the time because the 60s and 70s, coming out of segregation, and he used to go and protest, and he was quite important for a lot of the civil rights in his area. He also adopted a variety of children from different backgrounds. They called it their rainbow family. Unfortunately, he went nuts with the power, and he was on drugs, and he just lost the plot, and it all went to hell. But it all started off very well, with well-meaning. So it's one thing to say it's just a network marketing company, they've just got events, they've just got that, they've just got this. But then somebody's practicing how to shoot an automatic weapon. I know that in Australia we have different gun culture. After we had our major shooting in Port Arthur with Martin Bryant, there was a ban on semi-automatic weapons, and we had a big gun buyback, and we have not had a massacre of that size since. As opposed to America, who has those very things happen twice a week. So it's not our culture, absolutely. I understand that it is other people's cultures. The problem is that it was on his business account. This is the account that he uses for iGenius. So I think that that's wrong to associate with your business brand. What was it had a caption that was interesting, but it was like a serious one, but then it was with a, tongue out face or whatever. It said, What's it gonna? I would advise not to play with me. I would advise not to play with me. All right. Maybe I should put it in here, but it's on my Instagram. Check out my Instagram. I'm doing more on the gram lately. Trying to do a bit more on TikTok, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So we're at 32 minutes and 59 from these two humans. Rakan, he sucks. So he was just saying,
mixed with
oh, what was the question she asked him? I might have to just go back a teeny bit.
Working like they are broke.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And
so the question that we're going to finish the answer to tomorrow was like, what do you say to people who just say like, chill out, don't do the blah, blah, blah. And so she's going to finish that. All right. So we'll leave it there. Pretty interesting. It does feel like that it's just so, okay. I love being a drama teacher. It's fantastic. But guess what? We are wankers, all right? We are so pretentious. We're big wankers. And when we have like the drama teacher conference, oh my God, wank fest. Oh, hi, darling. Kiss, kiss, cheeks. Oh, where have you been? It is a wank fest, all right? And that's what this is. They are just like, oh my God, you're fabulous. I love you, darling. Love you, drama teachers. Oh my God, I keep on. Sorry. Said I'd stop winking. No one wants to see that content. Hashtag stop echo tish winking.com.au. Anyway, I have aching legs now. Great. So I'm going to finish this tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a great night. Check out the Snark Week on DC's channel. It's been good content and enjoying it. We'll have to have some other like little things like that where we pick an MLM and go hard on them. I'm still after you, Veronica Bay. This just in. Oh my God, I winked again. This just in. Veronica Bay, you've got more videos out there. More on this as news progresses. I'm trying so hard to be funny. It's not working. Okay. So let's just finish it here before I just die of embarrassment of myself. Alright, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming, dropping in. Thank you for being a friend, etc., etc. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.